Howdy! This time I'm reviewing Scalpel and Ejector. I got these since they're the closest things we're getting to real gear robots in Revenge of the Fallen. And I kinda like those figures, so I thought I'd give these guys a try. Both are packaged in robot mode, but I'll start in alt mode like I usually do. Scalpel's microscope mode here is actually completely different to the one we see in the movie. And if you have seen the movie, you'll realise that there is no way in hell that a fairly movie-accurate robot mode could become this. At this size anyway. This is a dissecting microscope. It's more modern looking than the one you just saw in the picture. It has all the right colours for a microscope, even if they are a bit dull, and all the right details from the eyepiece to the knobs and dials. For features, the top section can slide up and down like the real thing, and that's about it for this mode. The transformation is really involved for a scout, and rather frustrating too. You have to be particularly careful with the legs so they don't pop off. The robot mode model is movie accurate, but the colours aren't since it was a different microscope to begin with. I like how the purple adds a little more evilness though, as if this wasn't creepy looking enough. A word of advice, you may want to trim the antenna so that it's easier to store in microscope mode. While he has some articulation, he may as well not have any, since due to the design of his leg joints, he can't be put in more than one pose. They're on limited ball joints and will pop off if moved too far. It doesn't help that most of his weight is here, which makes him really top heavy and very hard to stand most of the time. In short, Scalpel isn't something I'd give to a kid, but he makes for an interesting display piece. Ejector here is based off a toaster transformer that appeared in a Mountain Dew advert in the US. I think we briefly see him in the movie itself at some point. The model of the toaster is a Dualit, if that's how you pronounce it. Like Scalpel, the colours fit the alt mode, but the silver on this one looks quite striking. It also has all the details you'd expect, such as a dial setting, a defrost light, and kudos for including a cord with a plug on the end. The cord is stiffened a little here, so it isn't a floppy nuisance that gets in the way of everything. His transformation is, again, fairly involved, but nowhere near as frustrating as Scalpel's. This robot mode is definitely monstrous looking, with its claws and arms and chicken walker legs. The head is a particularly weird design. It practically replaces his chest, so of course it's cool looking. His colour scheme is rather dull here, but at least there's some reddish brown to break up all this grey. Articulation is rather limited, but he can pose more than one way, unlike Scalpel. His head moves at the upper jaw like he's about to take a bite out of someone, or something. Kids won't really be thrilled by the alt mode, but it's definitely the more playable figure of the two. And it joins the Transformers Breakfast Committee. Ejector provides the toast, Hotshot provides the jam. Overall, these figures are really for slightly older collectors. They just feel more like novelty items than toys. Also, if you only want one of the two, get Ejector. He's less finicky. Next, I'm reviewing Revenge of the Fallen Ravage. Until then, till all are one.